Another thing that keeps coming up is a lot of interest in international investing over U.S. investing. Now, the U.S. has outperformed Europe and most of Asia for more than a decade. That's been pretty clear, particularly the Europe part of this. What's the theory behind international investing in 2022? Why does it keep coming up when I talk to ETF people?
Well, I think broadly speaking, the environment has changed, right? We've gone from an environment where everything was tech-related, growth-related, and the U.S. stood to stand best from that, and it did. And as a result, you saw flows significantly tilt to the U.S. year after year after year for the last decade. And you add that up, and it's quite amazing. If you look at $5.5 trillion in equity ETF assets here in the U.S., 4.2 trillion of that is in U.S.-focused only ETFs. So 75% of all equity ETFs in U.S.-listed funds is in U.S.-only names, whereas if you look at ACWI as a proxy, only 58% is in U.S. So from an allocation perspective, there's been a huge migration into U.S. As favored, and now we're already seeing early evidence of that trend starting to change. So like year to date, we've got 55 billion in flows into equity ETFs, and almost half of that has gone to funds focused on companies outside of the U.S. So I think it's just a natural fit into the broader story of growth falling out of favor. A lot of these international markets are better situated with higher allocations to cyclicals. Valuations, we know, is a big discussion right now, and international DevEx U.S. emerging are at historical discounts to the U.S. from that perspective. So pretty much there's a lot of factors driving this, but it's important to note it's got to go a long ways to get back to even somewhat close to even.
Right, that's a problem. But Jeremy, WisdomTree partially got famous on its hedged, currency hedged ETFs years ago. The HEDJ, as I recall, currency hedged Japan. You have a currency hedged Europe one. We haven't brought that up at all, but what kind of flows are you seeing in those or interest in those?
For sure. I mean, it's interesting. The dollar has surprised a lot of people. I think a lot of it ties to the Fed. And we had seen some chunky inflows, sort of a little bit of rotation in the last few months. Japan started to see a lot of interest in the value rotation. A story I'm watching closely. You saw Buffett buys Japan a few years, maybe 18 months ago. He bought a number of the Japanese trading companies. He did it on a currency hedge basis, by the way. And I think there's some rumors that he's buying more Japan right now. So I'll be focused on that story. But we're seeing that rotation to international, rotation to value. Even some of our international value baskets are outperforming U.S. value now. And so I do see that in performance right now.